Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's having a great day thus far. Finally, we have a nice day outside, which we don't get here too often. So, going to be a great day. Very special video. Very special guest stopping in at the GREGA garage to come give us a visit. That's our boys from Fleece Performance are stopping by. So, if you guys own a diesel truck and don't know who Fleece Performance is, there's probably something very wrong with you. But if you own a Common Rail Dodge or a Duramax, go check them out, fleeceperformance.com. They have a full-scale service shop. They're based out of Indiana. They produce products. They also have a separate kind of shop that does high-end performance engine builds. So they're going to be stopping by. They're probably going to be showing us some stuff, but go check them out. They literally, from injectors to turbo kits, you guys know that we've had the pleasure of installing a couple second-gen kits from them. I would probably recommend their second-gen kits over anybody else is on the market right now. So they just have a wide variety of hard parts, turbos, injectors, fuel injection stuff, pretty much everything that you would need. So go check them out. They are great guys, and their quality is second to none. I can just say that right off the bat. Their fit and finish is on OE standards, so just nothing but amazing things to say from the guys from Fleece Performance. So we are going to wait for them. They should be here any second, so hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned, grab some popcorn. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, so we are set up in the driveway. We got Drew and John from Fleece. We have their display motors, what you would normally see at a show event. We have a Common Rail Cummins, a Duramax, and they have their Billet fleece block, which you guys tagged me in probably a million times. So we're going to go over all three of these things. They're going to go over the products that they have for them and kind of give you guys a rundown. So just in case you can't come to any of the awesome shows this summer, you guys don't feel like you're missing out. So without further ado, how's it going, guys?
Good, how you doing? Thanks for having us.
Nice to meet you guys. I appreciate you guys coming out. So we'll start with what everybody loves on the channel here.
It's Cummins.
Cummins.
Love it.
So what do we have here? There's tons of fleece products on this thing.
So what we have here is basically a 6.7 Cummins. It's just a show motor. Has our dual pump kit that bolts to the timing cover, not the head. Has the pump lower down into the engine bay. That way it looks a lot cleaner, and then you can actually pull the head off with the pump and everything still on if you really wanted to.
So on my engine and what a lot of other, just to relate, kits they come with a bracket that bolts to the top of your head. Now what Fleece has done is now made a bracket that, like John was saying, lowers it down and bolts to the actual case cover as opposed to on top of the head.
So this setup, you have your stock pump, and then you can add our CP3K, which is a stock pump that actually has a usually a stock pump is governed at 3,000 RPM. You don't get any full fuel past that. Our CP3K, you actually get full fuel past 3,000 RPM, or you can go with our 10mm stroker pump.
Awesome.
And then you can tie it all in. Dual pump kit comes with all the lines, the fuel rail pressure sensor relocate. And then you can also get our fuel distribution block and hose and fitting kit, so it cleans it up all nice. This is actually our regulated return kit that you can actually regulate your fuel pressure at the block.
So on my truck, what I have from both of my air dogs, I have two separate lines coming, and then they tie into one gauge, and then they both split off back to the pumps. What their kit does very, very nicely is you have your return from the back of the head, you have your return off of the rail, which can go up here, and then you have it on a dual pump setup, both going back to here, and then you kind of have one or two inlets. So it's really just a very, very really nice kit to make sure you keep your engine bay nice and tidy and clean. A very nice way to do it, and like John was saying, a simple way to regulate your fuel system.
Then along back is our coolant bypass system. Normally there's a freeze plug back here. So what on a Cummins 5 and 6 cylinder, it builds a lot of heat. So what we did was you knock that freeze plug off. There's actually a 180-degree thermostat back here. So once it gets up to temperature, it actually relieves the coolant back up here to the front thermostat, so it actually just circulates. So 5 and 6 cylinder isn't building heat anymore. You're able to keep cool. 5 and 6 cylinders normally one that builds and burns up.
You can install these with the transmission and the engine still in it.
Yep.
Not say it's easy, but you can kind of from the passenger side and knock out that freeze plug with a long pry bar,
Yep.
and then bear hug the motor.
You can weasel it in there.
Yeah, our
We've done it.
Yeah, our instruction on the website is for the transmission and
Install in, not as easy as easy as a display motor. So
yes.
you guys have already seen quite a bit on a second gen kit, but Fleece does make their own complete second gen kit. We've kind of already been over, you know, why even just their return line with the built-in O-ring fittings is just probably the nicest on the market, coupled with, you know, their really nice intake system and just a complete kit that comes with every nut and bolt that you would ever need. Just makes for literally the best second gen swap kit on the market for sure.
Options for exhaust as well, exhaust headers. So,
yep.
with steed speed.
This one has a steed speed, but now they used to not, but now do have the option for an ATS, right? If you didn't want to go with the steed speed, just to keep the cost down a little bit. So
This is a billet oil cap that goes onto the factory oil cap that we machine in-house. Gets anodized to blue, red, orange, and black. It just pops right onto the factory oil cap.
when these first came out, I didn't know, so that's why I undid it. So here's your factory oil cap. It just goes right on top of that. I'm sure most of you guys can handle that installation.
And then we have our crankshaft barring tool. Normally you turn the motor over between the trans adapter. This makes it way easier, and then you don't have to crank it a lot.
Yep. I put these on literally everything because they are so worth the money. It makes it just insanely easier to work on. You might not think you need it, what's the point, but when you do need it, it is worth having it on there already. For sure.
Stays on the engine.
Yep.
We've also got the coolant bypass standoffs as well. So we've got the double height model, and then we'll also have one just for the bypass for kind of a single height.
Yeah, this model here is for a data logger if you have some, or a dry pressure gauge. That way it makes it all clean. And we have a lower profile billet one. Makes it look a little cleaner.
Oh, really?
And just regular.
I didn't know that.
P-style.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know there was
just the bottom part.
So there are billet options for this, even without the data logger holes. Yep. Or you know, this is actually really nice. I didn't see. I'm learning as you guys are learning. So this, I mean, everyone has an EGT gauge. A lot of people are now running drive pressure gauge. So instead of having the lines, you know, just willy-nilly dangling, that is what you want, let me tell you. And then you guys do make custom
data logger
built to order data logger systems. And like they mentioned, guys, Fleece does you know, sell injectors and make their own pumps in-house, correct?
Yep.
10
hardened cam, so that makes kind of the world of difference when you're looking at other products that are out there. The hardened cam really kind of sets us apart. You're not going to be snapping off snouts of the pump there.
And these feed fittings here we actually make in-house. They're a high flow fitting for they're a 1/2 inch barb fitting.
Because a lot of fittings will have, you know, you can get fittings from like a hydraulic hose shop or something like that, but they're not going to be the same inside diameter to keep that opening as big as possible. I think we overpassed this, but you guys do make the grid heater delete plates for 6/7, right?
We do, yes.
And they come black, which everybody wants because not everybody likes the polished look. But this basically, your 6/7 Cummins does have your grid heater kind of built into this plate. So what they do is basically just make this nice, you know, machine piece, already black. Pop that on, very nice. All right, so I don't even know what we're looking at here. So you're gonna have to go top to bottom, what year, engine display, all this stuff. You Duramax guys, here you go. Everyone's always asking for Duramax content, so let's go over what year this is and start from the top, I guess.
This is an LML based platform, so I believe 2010 and newer. Not too much on this. We have our CP3 conversion kit here in the Valley. We actually make our adapter plate in-house. It's a billet adapter that takes care of the CP4 and converts it to a CP3. We have our lines, this line here, this S line. If you run a factory or a aftermarket lift pump, that line is for that. We do offer a line to work with the factory fuel filter, so if you don't have a lift pump on your truck, we have that line to take care of you as well.
So I guess, and I'm not really sure, I've never been schooled on this, but what is the some of the advantages and main reason why you would get rid of that CP4 to a CP3.
CP4 is prone to failures. We've seen them fail at 300 miles, and then we've seen them last 200,000 miles.
Okay.
They're just basically a ticking time bomb. And when they go, it looks like anti-seize through your whole fuel system. So you would have to replace your fuel injectors, your return lines, your feed lines, everything. It's costly. It's about $10,000 fix.
Wow.
So with this model, they went with PZO injectors, which requires less fuel to flow. Therefore, they designed the CP4. Consequently, needs less fuel to flow as well. So when you're starting to make performance horsepower gains, you need that fuel, and that's why it makes more sense to.
So not only for performance, but just the fact that even a stock truck can literally fail, and next thing you know, your 5,000 mile nice new truck now needs a whole lot of work.
Yes.
Cool.
We have our transmission lines that we make. We don't make them for the LML. We make them all the way up to the LMM. Because the factory lines, they're just metal lines. So they tend to fail. They rub against something.
Okay. So just another product that's very prone to fail.
They are pressure checked and heat checked, and they are good to go.
Awesome.
And then up here, everyone wants our S362 FMW kit, forged mill wheel. It has our casted cover on it. It's our pedestal, stainless steel, T4 foot. And it works. We designed that pedestal and turbo to work with the factory intake system. So everything factory will hook up to this turbo.
Okay, cool.
It also comes with everything to install it. Your drain. It also comes with a remote turbo feed line that actually feeds the turbo from the passenger side oil galley, just for better oil pressure. You have a better pressure up there than feeding it from back here. Comes with a ceramic coated downpipe.
So this is pretty much considered drop-in.
Yeah,
yes.
Bolt on ready.
Bolt on ready to go. It'll sport up to 625 horse.
Good daily driver. It's got a lot of pep.
So also with the S362 kit, comes with a 2011 plus LML rear engine coolant return plug, because your factory turbo is coolant cooled. So you need to plug that off, because this turbo is not coolant cooled.
Now these are
A resonator delete and a PCV block off plates. Just cleans up the engine bay a little bit.
cool.
And then the remote oil feed line. This is where it hooks up on the passenger side. This is just better oil pressure up there.
Oh, okay.
This is one of our high flow return fittings that you couldn't see on the Cummins. We make those in-house as well. Good towing setup.
All right, guys, so on to what everybody wants to see in the GREGA race truck, which might be a far stretch, but so in the world of diesels, there's not too many, you know, like in car worlds, you have, you know, billet heads and billet blocks, not too many shiny stuff for the diesel engines, and this is just released, new, fresh off the press, right?
Yep, first one.
So this is Fleece's new, completely billet block. We'll give you the rundown here.
So we start at the top, kind of that 3,000 plus horsepower, capable, just because we got, you know, designed it from the bottom up with the highest speed platform, and then we've got at least 3-inch thick walls in there that obviously will be sleeved and drop your pistons in, but we'll build these custom to order, whatever your needs are. We've got different deck heights shown, +1 deck height, and we'll build that into the block, which makes it nice because you can use the standard head studs with that, standard length head studs.
Yeah, so normally when you have a deck plate motor, you have an inch spacer on top of your deck,
right.
And then you bolt the head up, so you have to get custom length head studs. Now with being a billet block, we can make it to whatever we want. So we make that deck height higher, and then you still run your standard length head studs.
Awesome. So this basically came from a need that a factory cast, man, ooh, shiny. You guys shined it up too much. blinding our audience here. This came from a need of basically just overpowering cast blocks, really. I mean, when you talk about deck plates and girdles, you're talking about horsepower preventative maintenance to try and keep that thing sandwiched and hold it together versus starting from scratch with something that is built for, you know, to really take the abuse and take the beating of really, I mean, back in the day, 600, 700, 800 horse were the top of what you were going to see. Now guys are, you know, going 2,000 plus, and, you know, we're just finding with the, I can't, every time I stand right here, that's right where it's at. You know, guys are just, you know, as horsepower levels are climbing, just finding new limits of pieces in our diesel trucks, basically. And this is the evolution of making a lot of horsepower.
We still have some more work to do. We'll still take some more chips off of this, and we're also going to be designing the dry sump oil pan with it, which also is not going to be just stamped piece of sheet metal. We're going to have billet aluminum, which also helps with the added rigidity of the bottom end there.
Right. So, and just to relate it to my own, you know, standpoint is, you know, we drive the 05 on the street, and a lot of people are commenting about this thing and stuff. So the provisions on this engine are really going to be a pretty much race only application. There's going to be no coolant in it. It uses a dry sump oil system and an oil pump. So it's really not your average grocery getter engine setup. So whether or not the 05 will be getting one of these things is to be determined, because we all know the 05 is not a strictly built race truck. So we still like to try and find grandpas in their Corvettes on the street and whoop up on them. So this is a separate piece that can go on any level of build from Freedom Racing Engines platforms, but this is also new.
Yes, it's our intake runner. Chase had a lot of dyno time on this. It's a 4-piece design, has 2 runners inside that actually evens out the flow to 1 and 6 cylinder normally starves for air. So this intake will fix that.
And I know what you're thinking, this does look very big, but we have had the discussion, this does fit on your truck. It does clear the master cylinder and the brake booster up top there on the firewall, and it kind of comes down, and it still will work. So you have your main piece here that bolts to the side of your cylinder head, your 2 sandwich halves, yep. And then not shown is basically a piece that goes to a V-band.
And those slots there for they're not done yet, but you drop the lifters in right yep. Down here.
Yep.
It basically has a tappet cover.
So one cool feature that, I don't know, does that come from gas racing engines with the main cap supports coming from the side?
Yes.
Because normally your main caps are all supported, and girdles that bolt to the bottom of your engine, you know, try to thicken that up and brace that, and that is your main cap support, versus now, you know, coming in from the side, those main caps are supported basically all the way around.
Yeah, with our Fleece Racing division and the Freedom Racing engines, we've got a lot of knowledge with the top fuel dragsters and aluminum blocks coming in that we're doing repair work every day. So we're being able to kind of take some of that design elements of those and apply those to the diesel world.
So not many people know, people kind of relate Fleece to the engine building side of that. It's actually its own separate entity, right?
Yes.
It's called Freedom Racing Engines. So you might think like, okay, they're just building diesel engines. No, you're completely wrong. So they build
Yeah, do repair work on top fuel dragsters. So with those, they actually have a failure mode, failure window. So they're designed to fail a certain way. So when we see those blocks come in, they have certain windows that we will be machining out, replacing with our already kind of Lego kits of aluminum, weld those back in, get those machined and back out the door. So that we do that quite often in our shop.
Yeah, so they're not only, I'm getting blinded by this block over here. So Freedom Racing Engines is not just a solely diesel based. They have experience well beyond, you know, what diesels are now getting into. They've already been doing it on top fuel dragsters and everything in the gas world that's already making really big power. So that's a whole separate entity. It's not, it is Fleece, but not Fleece, I guess you would say. So,
Sister companies.
Yep. Thank you, Drew.
Greg, thanks so much.
Thank you, John.
Yep, thank you.
Go check out Drew and John tomorrow. Fleece Performance at the XDP and at the open house.
Yep.
Englishtown and at the XDP's open house. So thank you guys for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, guys, huge, massive thank you for Fleece for stopping by, giving you guys a little bit of a rundown. Some of the products that they had on them on those display engines. There's more at fleeceperformance.com. If you guys are interested in any of those products that you saw or anything online, use the discount code GREGA, capitalized, uncapitalized, it should still work. I'll put it right here. GREGA should get you guys some discounts. I don't know on what or if it's on everything. They just let me know just right now, but go check them out. If there's anything you need, use GREGA, and that'll, I mean, I don't get anything from that, but hopefully it helps you guys out. So they are awesome, just awesome guys. I mean, I love dealing with people who are awesome, friendly. Look at it. It's raining. It's raining right now. But anyway, guys, hopefully you took something away from that. Hopefully you learned something. As far as plans for the 05, because that's what everybody wants to know about. Still undecided. I think what we're gonna actually do, and make sure you guys are leaving this video a big thumbs up. I think what we might end up doing, and if you guys want to see, I'm sure you guys do, I already know the answer to this question, is go out there, do a shop tour, kind of go over everything a little bit more in detail, go out there and do like a full tour. And maybe come up with an idea and a plan for the new engine for the 05. That's the plan. The billet block, it might be a little too crazy as far as like full race mode, but as far as putting together a engine build plan package, definitely might be in the works. So stay tuned for more news on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you.